Good afternoon, everyone. Now let us go for the examples of isoperimetric problem. Okay, I think one example we have seen related to isoperimetric problem. Okay, what we have seen in the last lecture, the first one we have seen that is uh, we are having a function say integration of x1 to x2 f of x y dash dx. The extremization of this should be undergone under this condition x1 to x2 g of x y dash dx, okay, which is equal to some constant. Then we got Euler-Lagrange's equation by considering a new integral I, which is nothing but I plus lambda j. And what is corresponding integrand? F star is f plus lambda g. Okay, so I star and f star are in such a way that now to find out the extremization of I under the condition j, it is equivalent to find out the extrema of I star. Okay, so after that we have seen the example that how to find out the result, that if you are having a thread of length L and we have to keep it on the positive side of x-axis, on the x-axis, in such a way that it should include a maximum area. And what was the result? We got the semicircle. Okay, any doubt up to last lectures?
No, ma'am.
This was an equation we have obtained, f star with respect to y minus d by dx of f star with respect to y dash is equals to 0. Okay, now I think you should write down with me what is the example. Find the extremal of isoperimetric problem. Find extremal of isoperimetric problem. Find the extremal of isoperimetric problem such that integrand I is equals to 0 to 1 y dash square plus x square dx. This is what our equation number 1, subject to the condition, subject to the condition integral j from 0 to 1 y square dx is equals to 2. And what is the next condition? Y of 0 is 0 and y of 1 is equal to 0. Okay, so these are the conditions given to us. This is our condition given to us for finding the values of constant, and we have to find out extremization of this integral under the condition of j. Okay, this is just like our method. In the method also we have integral I and j is equal to some constant. Okay, so what we have to do first, we have to write down the things that this is a Euler the extremization of integral 1 subject to the condition 2 and 3 is equivalent to find out the extremization of I star. What is I star? I star will be extremum under the conditions 2 and 3. What are the conditions? This j and the boundary conditions. I star will be equals to I plus lambda j. And what is corresponding f star? F star is nothing but your f plus lambda g. f star is integrand of. Okay. Now in this case you have to write down that we in this case the I star for I star to be extremum, the f star that is integrand must satisfy the integrand f star must satisfy Euler-Lagrange's equation. What is that Euler-Lagrange's equation in this case? It will be f star with respect to y minus d by dx of f star with respect to y dash is equals to 0. Okay. Now, what is your f star in this case? Can anyone say, can anyone tell me what will be the f star? आहेत का जागे सगळे? का they on
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
If present, then you should respond. F star.
Y dash square plus x square plus lambda into y square.
Okay. So in this case, we have the y dash square is nothing but the integrand of I plus x square y dash square plus x square plus lambda times integrand of ga, that is nothing but g, it is nothing but your y square. Y square is okay. Now let us evaluate this equation, Euler-Lagrange equation. F star with respect to y, what will be the derivative lambda as it is 2y, because there is no term of y in the first, minus d by dx of. You have to find out derivative of f star with respect to y dash, that will be simply 2y dash, no other terms involving the y dash. Okay. Now, if I take the 2 common or if I divide by 2, what will be the resultant? Lambda y minus y dash is nothing but your dy by dx. So in this way, again if I want to find out a derivative with respect to x, it will be y double dash. Correct? So what is your equation? We got y double dash minus lambda y is equals to 0. Okay. So this is just like what will be the characteristic equation for this? It will be r square minus lambda is equals to 0. बरोबर ना?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, what will be the value of r in this case? It is nothing but plus or minus under root of lambda. So in this case, we get the solution in the form y of x is equals to c1 e raised to root lambda x plus c2 e raised to minus of root lambda x. Okay, it is not a repeated root, no, it is plus or minus. So hence we can say c1 e raised to r1x plus c2 e raised to r2x. Okay. Now up to now we have solved. Now what is the next step? We have to find out the values of those constant. What are the values of constant? How to find out the values of a constant is y of 0 is 0, y of 1 is 0. Okay. Now we have to use a boundary conditions. Y of 0 is 0. Next, y of 1 is equal to 0. Okay. Wherever you are having x, you have to put it as 0. Y of 0 is equal to 0. So hence c1 e raised to 0 will be 1 plus c2 e raised to 0 again it will be 1. Wherever you have x, you have to put it as 1. Y of 1 is 0. It is equal to c1 e raised to root lambda plus c2 e raised to minus root lambda. X is 1. Okay. So from this we get c1 is equals to minus c2. We got the first equation, which is a relation between c1 and c2. Now this c1 is equal to minus c2, you can substitute here. Okay. So this will be minus c2 e raised to root lambda plus c2 e raised to minus of root lambda. Don't cancel out these terms. Here is minus, here is plus. Okay. So let me now write down the value of a c2. This is nothing but e raised to root minus lambda e raised to minus root lambda minus of e raised to root lambda. Simply I have taken C2 outside. Okay. Now if the product of these two is equal to 0, which one should be 0?
C2 will be 0.
Why C2 is only 0?
Because bracket quantity is always greater than 1.
Okay. Bracket quantity है always greater than 0 ना. e raised to x का ग्राफ कैसे होता है? This type ना. e raised to minus x is like this. It is not going to touch your x axis anytime. Hence we can say C2 equal to 0. If C2 is 0, from equation 1 you can get C1 is equals to C2 is equals to 0. So what will be the resultant? Y is equal to 0. That means we get a trivial solution. If you put the values of C1 and C2 in our equation, that is nothing. This is our equation we have obtained. Let me name it as some equation first. So if I put the values of C1 and C2 0, then we get the trivial solution. Okay. Now suppose the question is like this, that you have to find out the non-trivial solution. Okay. If I want to find out the non-trivial solution, right? So you can write here for non-trivial solution. What do you mean by trivial solution? जीरो सॉल्यूशन को ट्रिवियल सॉल्यूशन बोलते हैं ना हम लोग. नॉन ट्रिवियल सॉल्यूशन मीन्स व्हाट? वी वांट टू फाइंड आउट अ सॉल्यूशन विच इज नॉन जीरो सॉल्यूशन. यहाँ पे हमको y इक्वल टू 0 मिला है ना. Let's now go for solving for non-trivial solution. For non-trivial solution, we have the equation C1 is equals to minus C2. What is the next equation? C2, if I have taken outside, it is e raised to root lambda minus of e raised to minus root lambda equal to 0. Okay. So for non-trivial solution, what we can do? Rather, we can have this equation e raised to root lambda. If I take a minus outside, it will be of this form, or you can take the same equation. Let us name this as some equation 2. So we have these two equations. For non-trivial solution, for trivial solution, what we have done? The product of these two equal to 0 means what? C2 should be 0. But if we want to find out a non-trivial solution, what should be our assumption? E raised to root lambda minus e raised to minus of root lambda equal to 0. हे assumption पाहिजे ना. आता हे 0 कधी होणार आहे? काहीतरी पर्टिक्युलर लॅम्बडाची व्हॅल्यू असेल तर ना. So for that we have to find out that particular value of lambda for which we get this bracket is equal to 0. Okay. Understood the steps?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, let us now write down e raised to root lambda is equals to e raised to minus of root lambda. So in this case, we get it is nothing but e raised to root lambda. If I am having this as minus, so can I write this as 1 upon e raised to root lambda? Reciprocal 1 upon. So hence, if I multiply here, it will be e raised to root lambda is equals to 1. बरोबर? This step I can write like this. So hence, if I multiply these two, it will be e raised to root lambda. E raised to root lambda is equals to 1. So if the powers are same, what we can do is e raised to 2 root lambda minus 1 is equals to 0. This 1 I can write in the form of e raised to 0. Correct? Okay. And hence now what we have to do, we have to find out non-trivial solution. No? So for that we can do in one another thing, that e raised to 2 root lambda. What we have, e raised to 2 root lambda into 1 is equal to 1. This step I can write it as into 1 is equal to 1. Okay, into 1 is if you multiply by 1 for any term, it will be not having any effect. Correct? So this one now I can write in the form of e raised to I 2 pi n is equals to 1. Those who remember the thing that cos theta plus I sin theta is nothing but e raised to I theta. आठवते का कुणाला?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
E raised to I theta is nothing but cos theta plus I sin theta. Okay. So now this one, it is nothing but e raised to I 2 pi n. Now we have to verify whether this e raised to 2 pi n I is nothing but 1 or not. Okay. So for that, what we can do is wherever you're having theta, you can put it as 2 pi n. Okay, cos of 2 pi n plus I sin 2 pi n is nothing but e raised to I 2 pi n. Now, I hope I can expect that what will be the cos of 2 pi n? For n to be integer,
-1.
it is
1 or -1.
1 or minus 1. Okay.
+1, +1.
What about cos of 2 pi?
+1.
Plus 1. What about cos 4 pi?
+1.
Cos 6 pi?
+1.
So, if we are having cos pi, cos 3 pi, these are negatives, but the even ones are positive. That is 1. The value of this term as it is multiplied by 2 pi. So if I put n equal to 1, 2, 3 and so on, so this cos will be nothing but in terms of some 2 pi, 4 pi, 6 pi and so on. So it will be equal to 1. Now what
Yes,
is the value of sine 2 pi n?
0.
0.
Sine n pi is always 0 for any n, and hence we can say it is 0. So hence we get the resultant e raised to 2 pi n into I is equals to 1. So whatever I have written here, this will be correct. E raised to 2 pi I into n is nothing but 1. Okay, now these two we can add e raised to 2 if I take outside, what will be the resultant? Root lambda plus I pi n equal to 1. Okay. Now taking log on both sides, what I get the result? 2 root lambda plus 2 pi I n equals to काय येते log 1?
0.
0.
It is 0. So now we can write it is in terms of root lambda is equals to minus of pi I n. 2 can get cancelled, no? Or 2, if you are going to divide by 2, it will be root lambda plus pi I n, which we can write like this. Okay, by squaring on both sides, what I get the result? Lambda pi square I square n square. What is the value of I square? Those who remember I square.
-1.
Correct. Minus pi square n square. So in this case, we get the value of a lambda is minus pi square n square. Now we have to put this value of a lambda minus pi square n square in our solution. What is our solution? The Roman one I have written. Okay. Let me write down what is the solution. Y of x is c1 e raised to root lambda x plus c2 e raised to minus of root lambda x. So now we have to put up the value of a lambda as pi minus pi square n square. Okay. Or you can put the value of a root lambda as minus pi I n. Okay. Putting the value of a root lambda in our equation 1 or in the solution. and we get the result. What is the result? If I put root lambda is equal to minus pi I n, the solution y of x will be equal to c1 e raised to minus pi I n into x plus c2 e raised to minus become plus pi I n into x. For which thing we are doing all this calculation? For non-trivial solution. Okay. So product of these two will be equal to 0. These two terms equal to 0, but we want to find out the non-trivial solution. Hence we have assumed that C2 is not equal to 0, but this bracket is equal to 0. This bracket is only 0 only when the value of a lambda is this one. Okay. मायनस पाय स्क्वेअर अँड स्क्वेअर या व्हॅल्यूसाठी तुमचं ते ब्रॅकेट आहे ना ई रेस टू रूट लॅम्बडा मायनस ई रेस टू मायनस रूट लॅम्बडा हे 0 होणार आहे. ओके. So after finding all this, we have to now just put up in this format y of x is equal to c1 e raised to I theta na e raised to I theta. So hence we can write it as cos of n pi x, right, plus, sorry, as it is with negative it will be minus I sin n pi x plus c2 cos of n pi x plus I sin n pi x. Any doubt with this step? Directly I have written without explanation. E raised to I theta is nothing but cos theta plus I sin theta. And what is e raised to minus I theta? It is nothing but cos theta minus I sin theta. So here whatever the terms except I ला सोडून जे काय असेल ते तुमच्या theta असेल ना, cos of n pi x sin of n pi x. Okay. So here we got this term. Now what we can do is we can take the c1 and c2 common with cos of n pi x. This is cos n pi x. This is also cos n pi x. Okay. So if I take cos of n pi x outside, what will remain inside the bracket? C1 plus C2 cos of n pi x. Okay. Plus, what is the next term? If I take sin n pi x outside, what will remains inside the bracket? This I is common for both. Okay. This C2 is with positive sign minus C1. What is there outside the bracket? Sin n pi x. Okay. Now, as we know that C1 plus C2 is equals to 0 from our result, the equation 1, C1 plus C2 equal to 0, which means that C1 is equal to minus C2. Okay. So hence, if I assume, if I write here C1 plus C2 equal to 0, you have to write down the equation number. From equation 1, C1 is equals to minus C2, hence we get the first term is 0 and we get it is okay. Now we can write this C2 is nothing but minus of C1 na. So what we can write as y of x is equals to I times C2 is nothing but minus C1, or you can write C1 is equals to minus C2. Okay. If I write C1 is equal to minus C2, minus become plus. So this will be C2 plus C2 sin n pi x. So y of x will be equal to 2I times C2 sin n pi x. Okay. So this is what a solution we have obtained. Y of x is equal to. But what is the case? We have the two integrands given to us. So here we get the value of y, the solution y, but here is y dash square plus x square. So now we will evaluate this equation by putting our value for y and we'll check the result. Okay. Getting the steps?
Yes, ma'am.
So here we get the value of a y of x. So this value of a y of x, we have to put it in our value of a j. What is j? Integration x1 to x2 y square dx is equal to 2. Now instead of putting x1 and x2, we can put the 0 and 1 because we are provided with the boundary conditions here as in equation 3 y of 0 is 0, y of 1 is 0. So instead of putting x1 and x2, we can put the values of 0 and 1. So integrand j is equals to integration 0 to 1. Let me put the value of y that we have obtained. That will be nothing but 2I C2 sin n pi square. So which is nothing but I square 4 C2 square sin square n pi x dx is equal to 2. Okay. तो देखा यह है value I square 2 square of 2 is 4 C2 square sin square n pi. Now we have to solve this integration so that we can get the value of the C1 and C2. So let me find out the integration. Whatever the terms are constant, I square is minus 4 is also constant, C2 square is also constant. Integration 0 to 1 sin square n pi x dx is equals to 2. Okay. So what will be the integration of sine square? That I have given you a formula for sine square is nothing but 1 minus cos of 2 pi
2 theta
x
by 2.
of 2 theta divided by 2 dx is equal to 2. Okay, this 2 we can cancel out with this one and we can get the result as minus 2 C2 square integration 0 to 1 minus cos of 2 pi nx dx is equals to 2. Okay. So actually this 2 also get cancelled. This 2 will get cancelled with this one and v remains with minus C2 square. Let me evaluate the integration of 1 is nothing but x. What is the integration of cos? Sine of 2 pi nx divided by 2 pi n within the limit 0 to 1 which is equals to 1. 2 will get cancelled with this one, no? This 2 and this 2. Minus C2 square integration of 1 is x, integration of cos 2 pi nx is sine of 2 pi nx divided by 2 pi n as integration is with respect to x. Okay. Minus C2 square outside 1 minus sine of 2 pi n x is 1 na upper limit we are going to put minus, let us put the lower limit 0 minus sine of 2 pi n into 0, that will be nothing but 0 sine 0 divided by 2 pi n were 0 असेल तर obviously the zeros minus C2 square. Now can you tell me the what is the value of sine of 2 pi n sine n pi?
0.
If it is 0 minus divided by things again it will be 0 minus 0 is equal to 1. So hence we get the result is minus C2 square into 1 all over 0 is equals to 1. Okay. So in here we get C2 is equals to C2 square is equal to minus 1. So hence C2 is equal to plus or minus I. Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
So here we have to put it the value C1 plus C2 equal to 0. This is our equation 1 we have obtained. So putting this value of a C2 in equation 1, we get value of C1 is minus or plus I. Both are exactly opposites of one another. Na? If C2 is I, C1 will be minus I. If C1 is I, C2 will be minus I. Now put up all these values in our equation, which we got the solution. This is our equation now. the solution we have obtained. Let us name it as star. Putting the values of C1 and C2 in star, we get y of x is equals to, what we get is 2I as it is, plus or minus I, value for C2, sine n by x, and this I we can have it as I square 2 plus or minus I square sine n by x. If I square is with minus sign, I square is nothing but minus 1, no? So here we can write now minus or plus 2 sine n by x, which is nothing but the required non-trivial solution. Okay?
Yes, ma'am.
Now, what is my question for this? Here the steps we have written C2 into e raised to under root minus lambda minus e raised to root lambda equal to 0. In this step we have written that C2 is 0 since the bracket will not be 0, the graph of e raised to x is non-zero. But on the next step we have written e raised to root lambda minus e raised to minus root lambda equal to 0. Okay. So, for which value for lambda it is 0, we have found. What is the value for lambda here in this case is minus pi square n square. For this value for lambda, we get the bracket is equals to 0. Okay. Whether it is correct? जे काय आपण केलं ते बरोबर आहे का?
Yes, ma'am. Assumption वरून आपलं करेक्ट आहे.
Note assumption it is correct because we want to discuss the cases ना. यहाँ पे जो आपको equations मिल रहा है, equation 2. In this equation we can have both the possibilities, either C2 is 0 or the bracket is 0. No doubt the graph of e raised to x is non-zero. But what about the combination e raised to minus root lambda plus minus e raised to root lambda? We cannot say anything about this bracket ना, because it is not e raised to x. अगर ऐसा होता कि c2 e raised to x, at that time we can say directly that e raised to x is non-zero, hence we can say c2 is equal to 0. But in this case, we have to discuss the two cases, either c2 is 0 or c2 is non-zero. If c2 is non-zero, this bracket will be equal to 0, and hence the result. Okay, this is somewhat different one. The things which we have seen up to now, it is somewhat different example. Okay, have you written this?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Now let us go for the fifth version of Euler-Lagrange's differential equation. I think one homework I have given you for the Euler-Lagrange's equation ना, एक डेरिवेशन दिया था ना आपको होमवर्क के लिए. Don't be so silent.
No, ma'am.
होमवर्क दिया था ना. 3 वर्जन्स थे, 3 में से स्टार्टिंग के 2 वर्जन्स मैंने प्रूव किया था, थर्ड वर्जन आपके लिए बोला था ना प्रूव करने
हाँ,
के लिए.
येस मॅम. तो वाय डबल डॅश वाला दिला होता.
हां, सगळ्यांनी केलेत का ते होमवर्क? त्या दिवशी एकच जण हो म्हणले होते, बाकीचे काय म्हणले नव्हते, सायलेंट होते सगळे. अजून पण ते फक्त 33 स्टुडंट आहे, ओनली 33. Again, you have to tell to your friends to join the lectures if they are in contact with you. केलेत का सगळ्यांनी सॉल्व ते एक्झाम्पल?
येस मॅम.
Okay. Now let us go for the fifth version of Euler-Lagrange's differential equation. Obtain the Euler-Lagrange's differential equation which extremizes. Obtain the Euler-Lagrange's differential equation which extremizes the integral I x1 to x2. What is the integrand? F of x y dash y double dash dx with respect to twice differentiable function such that y of x which is with respect to twice differentiable function. Let me write down directly j. Under the condition of j is equal to integration x1 to x2 g of x y dash y double dash is equal to x y dash y double dash is equals to some constant, and the y and y dash are prescribed at the endpoints. Y of x1 is y1, y of x2 is y2. Okay. This is what the fifth times we are going to see Euler-Lagrange's theorem. Can anyone predict what will be our Euler-Lagrange's equation for this case?
Dabba f star upon dabba dou y minus d by dx of dou f star by dou y dash plus d square by dx square dou f star by dou y double dash.
Correct. So actually, if it is y double dash, there will be one more term. That is nothing but here we can write f star as f star. Why we are writing? Because we are in the case of extremization of integral I under the condition of j, which we can say it is isoperimetric problem. So f star with respect to y minus d by dx of f star with respect to y dash plus d2 by dx to f star with respect to y double dash is equal to 0. This will be an equation which we can obtain from this integral I and j if you are going to extremize them. Okay. And I hope I have given you the thing that if you want to extend the idea, what will be the result? यहाँ पे आप क्या ऐड कर सकते हो? माइनस डी क्यूब बाई डी एक्स क्यूब एफ स्टार with respect to y triple dash and so on. The last term will be minus 1 raised to n dou f star by dou x raised to sorry, here it will be y raised to m and here it should be d by dx of dn by dx raised to n. Okay. So let us now prove this result. Again the same conditions construction. Let's take the 2 points P and Q in such a way that we have to find out the shortest path between the 2 points. Okay. No need to repeat these things now.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so let us now write down directly. Let us have all the possible paths from P to Q. We can write it as y of x0 plus epsilon I eta I of x. Okay, where I is running for 1 and 2. Or you can write this equation as it is in the form of a summation. The two conditions are given, so hence we can write in the form of a summation as epsilon 1 I eta 1 of x plus epsilon 2 eta 2 of x. Initially we were having only one parameter, that is alpha. For different values of alpha we get different curve, But here, for extremization of I, we should have some another condition j. So that's why we have introduces two parameter epsilon 1 and epsilon 2. Okay. Now, if I want to use our basic lemma of calculus of variation, we must verify the conditions for eta I of x. What are the conditions for eta I of x? Eta 1 of x1 equal to 0 and eta 1 of x2 should be 0. Next, eta 2 of x1 is 0 and eta 2 of x2 is 0, or in general we can write eta I of xi is equals to 0 or I running for 1 and 2 only. Okay, so we have just renamed all the possible paths from passing from point P to Q. Okay, or if epsilon and epsilon 2 both are 0, hence we get the correct path. What is your integral I in terms of alpha? The integrand I, it is in terms of epsilon 1 and epsilon 2, we can write it as integration x1 to x2 f of x, y dash, y double dash dx. And what is j? J is within the integration x1 to x2 g of x, y dash, y double dash is dx. Okay. So now what we have to do in the next step, I star we have to create with the Lagrange's multiplier. केलेत का होमवर्क? ज्यांना माहित नव्हता त्यांनी Lagrange's multiplier वाचून आलेत का? झालंय का नाही? At least have you
Yes,
heard that?
ma'am. झाले.
Okay. At least I think everyone heard this term, Lagrange's multiplier.
Yes, ma'am.
Equals to I plus lambda j. With the help of this Lagrange's multiplier, extremization of I and j combinedly is equivalent to now find out the extremization of I star. Okay. So let me write down this as I star integration x1 to x2 f of f star of x, y dash, y double dash dx. Okay. Next, what is the next step? I star we have to differentiate with respect to epsilon I, just like we have done for dou I by dou alpha equal to 0. Why to do this step? To find out the extrema, that is either minima or maximum. For finding minima or maximum, first we are going to equate a first derivative to 0. I hope everyone have done the discussion why to find out maxima minima with this condition only. First derivative equal to 0, second derivative greater than 0 असेल तर minima less than 0 असेल तर maximum. Okay. So what we have to do now? I star we have to differentiate with respect to epsilon I. It is equals to integration x1 to x2. We have to find out f star. We have to differentiate with respect to x. Then we have to differentiate x with respect to epsilon I. Plus f star we have to find out a derivative with respect to y and derivative y with respect to epsilon I. Plus that same thing we have to do for next term. Okay. Then what we have to do? We have to find out the values of y dash with respect to epsilon I. Note out this term is 0 because x and epsilon I is not having any relation. X is independent variable. So this is 0. What is derivative of y with respect to epsilon I from this equation? Or from this equation you can see what is the derivative of y with
Eta
respect
I of x.
eta I of x. Okay. So in this way we can find out for y dash, y double dash, and let me skip this step. So you can find out the derivative, no? Sorry, you can find out the integrations. We have to apply the double integration by parts for the second and third term. For third term, we have to use integration by parts 2 times. Okay, and hence we can get the result. Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
We are remaining with the last one. We are having only 5 minutes. We cannot complete this. Okay, you can leave the lecture with this. This last derivation will complete in the next lecture, and with that we will be completing our second chapter also. You have to start your study. Okay, सिलेबस तो खत्म होगा. सिलेबस का आप टेंशन मत लो. सिलेबस का टेंशन मुझे है. ओके. So last theorem is remaining for second chapter. So you have to complete, that is nothing but the sixth version of Euler-Lagrange's theorem. So that we will complete in the next lecture. You have to start your study and be prepared for the exams also. Okay. Thank you for attending the lectures. You can leave the meeting.
मॅम इंटरनलला सिलेबस किती आहे?
First chapter.
ओके मॅम.
First chapter, second internal, second chapter.
ओके मॅम.